Greetings! You are now watching part 5 of my series on the science of Hinduism. Let's see what Play It Already has to say today.
And as for this worshipping of cows, no. They don't worship cows, some might choose to.
Well, that's certainly a good point. Some Hindus might worship cows, but not all of them do. This really helps bring home the fact that not all Hindus believe all the same stuff. A point that probably hasn't been clearly stated enough in my previous videos. The truth is that Hinduism is a very multifaceted religion, so much so that some scholars have suggested that rather than thinking of Hinduism as a single religion, it might be better to think of it as a family of related yet different religions, which just further demonstrates the problem with the idea that the entire religion is true.
And all this worshipping millions of gods, that's wrong too. Hindus believe in the same one God that the God of Abraham and the other Abrahamic religions believe in.
Now, take notice of Play It Already's annotation on the left. He's asking us to excuse his use of the word Hindu. And I suspect this means that he realized maybe he shouldn't speak for all Hindus when he says that they believe in the same one God that the Abrahamic religions believe in. Because as we just established, Hinduism is actually pretty multifaceted. Not all Hindus believe all the same stuff. It's true that in the modern day, a lot of Hindus are monotheistic. But throughout most of history, Hindus have been polytheistic. Whether they believe in the old gods or the new gods or all the gods, right? That being said, I've even heard that some of them are atheistic. I'm not really sure how that works, but that's what I hear. Suffice it to say, a lot of different Hindus have believed a lot of different things throughout history. Which again helps to reinforce my point against the idea that the entire religion is true. Now, with regard to the God of Abraham, according to the Bible, the God of Abraham goes by the Hebrew name El Shaddai. Or at least that's the name that he tells to Abraham. Wait. Did I say Hebrew name? It turns out that originally El Shaddai was a god of the Canaanites, a polytheistic people who spoke a dialect very closely related to Hebrew. Now, I've seen El Shaddai translated into English in several different ways. One way that I've seen is God Almighty. Another would be God of the breasts. And another that I've seen is God of the mountains, which God of the breasts probably is an allusion to the mountains anyway, because this God was understood to live in the mountains, and he was especially associated with a mountain called Mount Sapon. And Mount Sapon was north of the Canaanite site of Ugarit, which was east of the Mediterranean Sea. And the reason I even bother to mention the geographic location of this mountain is because a little bit later in the Bible, the God of Moses, who goes by a different name, is also understood to dwell in a completely different mountain. I refer, of course, to Mount Sinai, or Sinai, however you want to pronounce it, which was located south of the Mediterranean Sea in the wilderness of Midian, which of course is located in Saudi Arabia. And it does turn out that Mount Sinai was actually a volcano, and thus it seems that the God of Moses is a volcano god. So if the God of Moses is a volcanic mountain god known by one name, and the God of Abraham is a non-volcanic mountain god known by a different name, gee, it's almost as if these are two completely different gods. Now, while some of the evidence that these are two different gods can be found in the Bible itself, the Bible also tries to convince us that they're the same God. And this is a phenomenon known as syncretism, when two originally distinct gods come to be perceived as the same God. The most well-known examples of syncretism are found with the gods of the Greeks and Romans. I think many of the people watching this video are probably already familiar with the concept that Venus is the same goddess as Aphrodite. Neptune is the same god as Poseidon. But originally, Neptune was a Roman river god, and Poseidon was a Greek sea god. It's just that they came to be perceived as the same god. But while the Greek and Roman gods and goddesses may be where the most well-known examples of syncretism are, the truth is that syncretism was a really common phenomenon that happened pretty much all across the map in antiquity. So the Greek gods and goddesses would also syncretize with those of Egypt, which would also syncretize with those of Canaan, which would also syncretize with those of Mesopotamia, which would also syncretize with those of the Hittites, etc. But basically, this is what Plato already is trying to do. He's trying to syncretize a Hindu god with the god of Abraham, a mountain god. So, for anyone who needs to have this spelled out, while it's totally possible to be Hindu and think that the God that you believe in is the same God that the people of the Abrahamic faiths believe in, when you investigate the origins of these gods, it turns out that they're more of these animistic gods that are not likely to actually exist. They're basically just misunderstandings of nature. So if you can track how two originally distinct gods were combined and syncretized, that can help to demonstrate the process in which the resulting amalgam god was engineered by humans. Or, in other words, it actually provides you with actual evidence that the resulting god is a man-made concept. It's not real. We created that god did not create us. So part of what this means, play it already, is that by syncretizing whatever Hindu god you believe in with the god of Abraham, you're actually imagining a brand new amalgam god like right in front of us. Well, maybe I shouldn't say brand new. It's not like you're the first person to do this. But suffice it to say, if the god of Abraham is demonstrably not real and you're going to syncretize whatever god you believe in with it, then your god is also evidently not real.
As for these millions of gods, they're called devtas, heavenly beings. And the universe is a big place. There's more solar systems than there are grains of sand on Earth. So, I mean, scientists agree there's likely 10,000 civilizations out there. Do you not think that there's going to be higher beings that are closer to God?
Well, I don't know what you mean by higher beings closer to God, but it sounds like you're talking about aliens, right? You have this talk about all these civilizations out there, right? Sounds like you're talking about aliens, whether they're aliens that are more technologically advanced than us or more evolutionarily advanced than us. That's what it sounds like you're talking about. Which I gotta tell you, man, that's not what the Hindu mythology is talking about. With the god of fire and the sun god and the moon god, god of the sky, right? Those aren't aliens. Those are representative of different aspects of nature. Now, to clarify, I'm not saying that there's no such thing as aliens. I'm saying that characters like Agni, god of fire, and Indra, the storm god, are not aliens. They're just mythical animistic gods. Well, that's it for part 5 of this series. Please do come back for part 6. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with other people. If you're interested in watching my future videos, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one. So have a good one, guys, and peace.